Good job today, man. One at a time, and we'll get the job done. Y'all know what to say. On three. 1, 2, 3.
And the home of the Jets.
Good evening, everybody. Another one of these Mondays. But before we get into negativity and anger and hostility and tanking, Merry Christmas to everybody, man. It's a holiday season, so I hope everybody, all you bubs, you and your family, everybody have an excellent holiday season, which is much more important than talking football because this team's not much to talk about.
No, yeah, definitely. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas to you too as well, Tyson. Happy New Year. Enjoy the time with family and friends. Don't let the Jets, blow your holiday or ruin your holiday. It's 2 games left and we could just look ahead to 2026. This is such a disaster. Another season down the drain, and here we are again. So looking forward to diving into it though tonight.
No, 100%. And before we get started, I just want to thank everybody who's been reaching out. I've been dealing with some medical stuff for about 2 weeks now, and all the direct messages, the emails, the comments, the texts, I sincerely appreciate it. It was so weird not covering a game, like covering the Jaguar game or making videos. I actually watched it in the hospital bed. It's like, and even then I was like all banged up. I'm like, this team still pisses me off. So, but thank everybody for all the messages, man. It's really genuinely appreciated.
Yeah, good to see you're feeling better.
Yeah, man, I'm on the mend, man. We're getting there. So this Sunday too, I'm back streaming too. So Jets Patriots, I'm down to watch a disaster. So we're fully back with all that. Now, Bubs, the game yesterday was a complete disgrace, but we're tanking. So we're like, you know what? Some things are gonna be acceptable. We lost. We should be happy. But to me, it's the way they lost and the way they're handling the loss. And you're looking at the overall season in itself, and it's like an unmitigated disaster. And then we'll start right there because today's press conference set me off. Today's press conference absolutely broke me. But you look at yesterday, they had 195 yards. This is the Saints, the New Orleans Saints, 2 very bad teams. They made Tyler Shuck look like Drake May. Over 300 yards passing, up and down the field. They give over 400 yards of offense. The Jets' offense is completely stuck in mud. They're now doing absolutely nothing. No tackling, 8 sacks, all this different stuff. And it's like, it's just getting worse week in and week out. I understand Brady Cook, but dude, there is literally nothing to hang your hat on with this team, minus McNamara, Folk, and Isaiah Williams on special teams.
Yeah, no, it's a complete disgrace. And the last time I was on here was coming off of the Falcons win. And I'll just say it, unlike the Jets, I'll take accountability. Shame on me for trying to get positive, be positive about the team during that 5-game stretch, because the way I feel about this team over the last 3 weeks is exactly the way that we both felt and I felt earlier in the year, which when they were losing games, getting blown out, starting 0-7, and that is they're directionless. Aaron Glenn has shown you nothing, no reason to believe in him moving forward. If you still believe in Aaron Glenn, Darren Muji, and this regime, it's just blind faith. They have shown you absolutely nothing. It's a complete disgrace. To see them win those 3 games, go through that 5-game stretch, and then come out the way they have in these last 3 games shows you that 5-game stretch is nothing. It means nothing. Shows you that that's not who they are. This coach is not any good. This general manager, this coaching staff, you fire Steve Wilkes, the defense still stinks. They got blown out against, like you said, a terrible Saints team yesterday. They no-showed against the Jacksonville Jaguars. They no-showed at home against a division rival in the Miami Dolphins, where you made Tua and that offense look good. Just weeks later, Tua gets benched. They're a complete joke, and they're directionless. And I know I'm kind of all over the place, but I'm just so sick of seeing Liam Cohen, Ben Johnson, all of these teams figure it out year one. And here we are sitting 3-12. They're going to finish 3-14, which is the lowest point since 2-14 Gaze, the 3-13 Kotite, the 1-15 Kotite year. They're a 3-win football team. They are poorly coached. I don't even want to hear either about the whole UDFA, the quarterback, and Brady Cook, because they weren't any good with Justin Fields, who they gave $30 million guaranteed to. That was their handpicked guy this offseason. But This team's flat. And then for Glenn to go into the press conference, and I know we'll talk about it, and talk about effort. And then today, talk about effort again. And then go out there and continue to talk to the fans. Don't let go of the rope. How many more coaches, how many more seasons do we need to hear? Big ships take turn and slow. Trust our process. Trust the vision. Every coach has sold us this terrible vision that hasn't worked, because if any of these coaches' visions worked, we wouldn't be stuck in the mud for 15 straight years. We'd at least have one winning season since 2015. I mean, I was in 4th grade when Eric Decker caught that touchdown against the Patriots on just to lose because Kembrell Tompkins didn't know how to catch a week later. Like, it's disgusting football. The team's a disgrace. The organization's a disgrace. It starts from the top down.
Yeah, I have a different take, and that was excellent, by the way. I have a different take. I actually have a little more faith in the front office of Muji and Rick Spielman. Spielman guy's been done that. Muji's made excellent trades, so you have value there. So I'm like, okay, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. The problem I have is that we're now being forced to trust the process with a coaching staff that's never done it before. Like, the whole yesterday, like, well, man, we got effort. The only reason why you got effort is because you have all these young guys that never played before, playing their first game in the NFL or getting their first playing time experience, and they're running around in circles, not doing anything. They're running around. God knows who they're hitting, tackling. They're not catching any passes, not doing anything. They're on the field running around. We're down to the point, the low point of saying, thank you, we showed up today. We actually put on our uniforms and participated in a game, and I'm proud of us participating. No, we're not going to acknowledge the fact we got blown out again. They're not going to embarrass that you're a laughing stock and can't do nothing. And there's so many things that have gone wrong this season, and that's the biggest problem I have. It's right now we have 2 games left. We don't know what our offense is. We don't know what our defense is. We don't know what our head coach is. We don't know what our offensive coordinator is. We don't even have a defensive coordinator. Nope. We have nothing in place. So what is the question I have is, at the end of your meeting with Woody Johnson, that genius, and Aaron Glenn, okay, coach, tell me 5 things that improved this year for your team. Tell me 5 things. Special teams. Okay. Now what? Where?
That's it.
What players have been groomed? What players have been developed? Who's the face of your franchise? What's the identity of your offense? Your identity. He has no answers. And to top it off, it's just getting worse. And you're seeing players actually regress. And the one thing that's bothering the most is every Jet fan, we knew this was a rebuild year. We had no expectations. But to a fan, we said 5-6 wins, defense should be solid, be competitive at the end of the year. That's all we asked for. None of that has happened. We keep lowering our standards, and the Jets force us to lower it even more, to the point where now people are like, oh, we're tanking. This is great. Okay, but what are we tanking for? Like, what exactly do you have faith in? And then for this fucking coach to tell me, don't let go to trust the plan. What was your plan this year? You brought in Justin Fields arrogantly brought in Justin Fields. We're going to maximize his potential. We're going to bring him back to his Ohio State days. They did the exact opposite. It didn't work at all. Yep. Your best players on defense have gotten worse. Jamian Sherwood, minus the first half yesterday, terrible. Jermaine Johnson, nothing. Will McDonald, 3 good games. Nobody did anything. Sauce is gone. Quentin Williams is gone. There's like all the things we thought were going to happen. None of them have fucking happened. And Aaron Glenn's like, trust me, bro. Trust our plan. What is your plan? Exactly. This year's plan was a complete unmitigated disaster.
Yep. No, you're spot on. And I do agree with your assessment of Muji. There's been some really kind of shrewd moves there, whether you talk about Brownlee or the Juwan Briggs trade, which has really worked out. More confidence in him, definitely, than Glenn. But you're spot on, and that was going to be my next point, is the guys that have regressed. Will McDonald's regressed. Jermaine Johnson regressed. Yep. And how many times during training camp and how many times during the offseason did Glenn kind of fire shots at the previous coaching staff when talking about Will McDonald, how he's in our system now, we know how to coach him up. He's been worse against the run this year than he has in previous years, and his pass rushing ability is worse than it was in previous years. At least he had a little bit of pass rushing juice. Let's be honest, out of the 8 sacks he has, 5 of those came across the 2 weeks against he had the 4-sack game against Cleveland, and I think the one against New England or whatever, or maybe the one against Cincy was late in the game when they got the stop. So 5 of those 8 came across 2 games. 4 of them came in 1 game. They've all gotten worse. And you're spot on. There's no identity. And he's done so much backpedaling this year because he went into this season and they asked him, it was either the Wednesday press conference or the Friday press conference before the Pittsburgh game. And they asked him, what is your goal for this season? What do you want this team to be? And he said, a team that fans can be proud of. Yep. And when they started 0-7, he got asked that question again, and he backpedaled. He said, that wasn't my goal for this season. That's my goal moving forward, is a team that fans can be proud of. And then you get today, don't let go of the rope. This is not a team that fans can be proud of. And he also has talked all about, oh, this isn't the same old Jets. This is different. How is this not the same old Jets? You're 3-12. You're in the basement. You're the laughing stock of the NFL. This is the same old Jets. You're uncompetitive. 100%. You're losing football games. You're getting embarrassed. Like, you don't have an identity. You went into the season on offense. Can you run? They don't run the football well. Like they don't have an identity at all. You're spot on.
But even Aaron Glenn himself, as this hard-nosed, tough-ass coach in training camp in the preseason, even he has changed into is soft, timid. You nailed it, dude. Backpedaling, definitely backpedaling. He said, well, it's got to be tough. Big ship slow. He went from we're built for this shit to maybe we're not, but we're going to be down the line. He completely changed his tone now, and now he's being more friendly with the media because you know what? I got to do something right because they ripped me to shreds everywhere, and rightfully so. And then it's like, so now it's like all like this. This is the same thing. Aaron Glenn's not going where, so what now? So as Jet fans, we say, oh, thank you. Can I have another? Let's just enable and embrace incompetence and support it. Right now, what we say is, okay, Aaron, after you fuck this season completely up, now you're being given a chance to get a top 4 pick, a chance to have a prize possession in a rookie quarterback. You're going to tell me that we have to trust you after what we saw this year. You're going to hand this quarterback to Tanner Engstrand and Charles London and say, you know what? Trust us. We got it. Why? Tell me why. If Aaron Glenn had any balls, he'd go in there, he'd fire London, he could demote Tanner Engstrand. I don't give a shit. And overhaul the entire offensive staff saying, you know what? I'm as many mistakes I made with Steve Wilkes, which is a lot. I made the same on offense because you know what? We need to groom young quarterbacks, and none of these guys have done it before. Like, oh, well, he worked with, Jim Harbaugh in friggin' San Diego. Don't care. What guy on this staff developed an NFL quarterback and made them better over a period of time? Nobody, including the head coach. And now I had to say, oh, wait, he's going to say, trust me, bro. I know what I'm doing. Based on what we saw this year, why? Why do we have to trust him? We don't have to. We shouldn't.
It's like the guy that ordered the coffee order for the guy to pick up the coffee for Tom Brady. Like that's the connections. That's kind of, we always talk about that with like GMs, the line of, oh, this first time GM worked for this guy. You're spot on. Charles London needs to be fired. I don't know why he was hired in the first place. He has a background with quarterbacks. You're bringing in Justin Fields to try and develop and turn him into something who, by the way, he's gotten worse too. Let's be honest. 100%. Justin Fields played the worst football of his career. 100%. Is that a surprise or is that a coincidence or is that kind of a coaching problem as well? Look, I'm not saying that Fields deflects all the blame, but I don't think it's much of a coincidence that Fields comes here and plays the worst football of his career. And that was the guy they handpicked too. They handpicked Fields. They gave him $30 million 100%. Guaranteed to bring him in and be this team's starting quarterback. And Glenn preached all about competition all offseason, but he had no competition at the quarterback. And all he did all offseason was put Fields on a pedestal. We're going to coach him the right way. He's going to work out all of this stuff just for it to blow up in their face. And another thing too, at the combine, at minicamp, win now. We're here to win now. And here we go again with the backpedaling. It's a process. Hold on to the rope. Big ships take turn to slow.
He's in over his head, dude. It is. And you know what the other thing bothered me too? Listen, for those of you listening on podcast networks, I appreciate it. I'm going full-blown negativity tonight because I'm fed up because what bothered me too was yesterday was he held Brady Cook 10 times more accountable than he ever did with Justin Fields. He was like, basically, he could have did this, he could have did this. After games, he's like, well, I got to watch tape with Justin Fields. Fields was horrendous. 34 yards at halftime, doing this, not picking the ball, throwing sack, all this stuff. Glenn is like, he tried to play his favorite Fields, blew up in his face, and now he's getting tough on fucking Brady Cook. Like, seriously? That's your big talking point now? Furthermore, this is what now for everybody, oh, just embrace the tank. Don't get mad about losing. Okay, for that, here's my caveat to that. Tell me, if you're Fernando Mendoza or you're Dante Moore and you really want to get off to a good start, do you want to come to this market with this coaching staff who could be on a hot seat in a year and play football? Or be like, you know what? I'm good, dude. Like, I don't want to play for the fucking Jets. Or if you're a free agent, do you want to come here and play for this team where you can easily make a case that Aaron Glenn next year could be on the hot seat if he wins 5 games. So you could have draft picks saying, you know what? Fernando Mendoza be like, I don't want to go there. I don't want to play for that mess of a team. And free agents can say the same thing. This is not a desirable location because what is your selling point? Oh, well, they got Garrett Wilson, they got Mason Taylor. Okay, you don't have a coaching staff. What players want to do is they want to be coached up and they want to win and they want to get their stats. And right now, you can't guarantee any of that with this team at all. That's what it is. And that was the problem this year. Like Aaron Glenn, first-time head coach. Do you want to go there? Now you've seen a 3-win team. Do you want to go there in this market where they haven't made the playoffs in 15 years? No, hell no.
No. With this coaching staff, first-time coach, who, let's be honest, is completely in over his head right now. And that's the whole problem with all this. We know Woody's not going to fire him. Woody's not going to admit a mistake after 1 year like this, especially because this was really the first coach since the Bowles-McCagnon era where he hired him in his own, because the last two coaching hires, whether it was Gaze or Saleh, he was overseas for that. So this is like the first one where he hired the 33rd team. He had his hands on it. He's not going to admit a mistake after year one, but that's the whole problem that we get into now. And this is the issue with the Jets and these quarterbacks and this constant cycle that we're in of just terrible football, terrible coaching, just organizational malpractice. They win 3 games next year. You can't now all the pressure is on Glenn and this coaching staff to win 8-9 games next year. You can't tell me if they win 5 games next year, you're bringing them back. That's 8 wins in 2 years. That's unacceptable. And then you get into the situation where new regime, new coaching staff, second-year quarterback. He then has to learn a new system.
That's the
whatever.
problem.
Yep. Dude, now the timeline is all screwed up.
And this is also predictable. This is so predictable. This is like you're handing the keys of your 2 first-round picks, $80 million in cap space to a guy who can literally be fired next year. So say you get Ty Simpson or you get Dante Moore, whoever you get. You have him here next year. They struggle. They don't groom him. You win the 4 or 5 games. You're like, man, this coaching staff isn't it. All right, fire him. 2 years, 2 different head coaches, 2 different offensive coordinators. It's the blueprint to ruin a young quarterback. So now the Jets and Woody Johnson are going to put all this faith into the guy whose only answer is, trust me, I know what I'm doing.
Yep.
I didn't show you it. I didn't show you nothing all season long. Nothing at all. Other than a little catchphrase headlines and sideline dancing. That's all you showed us. And now you say, trust me, bro, I have a plan. Okay. How about this? Instead of talking about it, be about it. Your team isn't about it. Like there's literally, I talked about this with Ian. There's not even 5 players that have gotten better this year. There's not one facet of this team where you're like, oh, you know what? The Jets, the offensive line's playing really well. They've given up 8 sacks how many times? Well, it's Brady Cook. Well, it's that. Well, it's this. It's still a problem. The defense, Bubs, has no interceptions. They're historically bad.
15 straight games.
Like you could fall into the interception. There's guys that have more interceptions in one game the Jets have all year. That's absurd.
Yeah, no, it's the lack of takeaways is embarrassing. 15 straight interceptions, the longest in NFL history. 4 takeaways. The least amount of takeaways in NFL history is 7 in a single season. So they're on their way to smashing that as well, unless if they find a way to miraculously get 4 takeaways over the next 2 games against Drake May and Josh Allen, which I highly doubt that's happening. We're probably looking at like a 38-10 game on Sunday and then 38-10 again on the next Sunday because they're so bad. But yeah, defensive coach, first time DC head coach. You bring in Wilkes. He was a disaster.
Yep.
They don't
Can we talk
intercept
about
passes.
that for a second?
Brandon Stevens has been terrible, who was one of their handpicked guys too.
Well, Stevens has been good, but like the thing to me is,
I thought he played bad yesterday. But
yesterday he wasn't good. But I'm saying overall, he's been a bright spot in the secondary where Cisco sucked. Friggin', Sauce has been bad. But the thing is this: the handling of Steve Wilkes is even bad because we knew early on in the season when you have broadcasters saying, "Man, the Jets are giving away all their blitzes. Man, this Jets defense is so obvious. Man, what are the Jets defense doing? Week in and week out doing the same things, and nothing changed." What is Aaron Glenn doing? Is he sitting on a sideline being, well, that's his defense. He's got to figure it out. Or is he being hands-on and fixing it? He waits till the end of the season where you've already lost so much, where these young players are learning bad things. They're learning bad habits. They're learning a bad scheme. They're not getting any results at all. They're all regressing. Then you finally fire him. It's ridiculous there. Like, why? I respect Glenn much more. Says, you know what? 5 weeks ago, I'm taking over the defense. This is unacceptable. I'm calling the plays now. Because I don't want to see my team embarrass themselves week in and week out. But no, he rode the course, watched them just shit away every game. And now, oh no, we finally had to fire him after they embarrassed themselves on a bigger fashion. Yep. The handling of Wilkes was a joke. It was a bad hire. And now it's like, now next year, new scheme, new defensive coordinator. So this year is a waste there too.
Yep. No, they could have fired Wilkes. Like we talked about the defensive issues week 3, week 4, week 2. We saw this in week 1. They were awful defensively. This could have been a move that was made 7 weeks ago. Instead, they wait for the final 3 weeks of the season when you're 3-11 to make the move. I mean, this was all too predictable. His schemes were archaic. There was no adjustments. Then you get the report from Connor Hughes that players were calling him out in meetings. They felt like they weren't in a good position to make plays.
But can I touch on that? Aaron Glenn prides himself on a guy with an open door policy. My players can come talk to me. I take their feedback and we implement it. If there are players going into your office saying, you know what, this scheme ain't working for me. I mean, Aaron Glenn should see this on tape. He watches the tape apparently, right?
Yes.
There's players going to his office saying, listen, coach, this isn't working. I don't agree with the scheme. Let's try this and try it. And they're not adapting to that. That is a bigger problem with this head coach. That's an enormous problem.
Yeah, no, you're spot on. You got to be, if you want to be a CEO type coach, he was once a defensive coordinator. Why does he take over defensive play calling then? If you're this big CEO accountability head coach that we were sold on when you were hired, you oversee all 3 phases. And we see that with any CEO type coach. And you haven't seen that this year with him. And he's stuck with Wilkes and it was a complete disaster. And I mean, Chris Harris isn't going to be that. They can't keep him either. I mean, you got to hire somebody from the outside. Who that is, only time will tell. And potentially some other changes too on the defensive staff. Like the defense can't be this bad and you just hire a new DC. You look at some of the positional coaches. I mean, the linebackers have been awful. Do you look to potentially change Aaron Curry, who's been the linebackers coach, similar to Charles London? I want nothing to do with a rookie quarterback. It's just like Calabrese and Zach, that whole situation. 100%. I want nothing to do with Charles London, who has a background with running backs, only turned quarterbacks coach 4 years ago, worked with Matt Ryan, Desmond Ritter, Will Levis, Malik Willis, and now we're going to give him Fernando Mendoza or Dante Moore, one of these prize picks, especially if you trade up and give up a haul to get to number 1, let's say. You're going to give him to Charles London? No chance. So, and we said this. Where was the veteran on the staff? Sure, they had Scott Turner, I think, is what they added him, who's been an offensive coordinator, but where was, the Todd Haley? I know they reached out to Todd Haley, but any of these veteran guys that have been around, been a head coach before, where was that? We all called for it. They didn't do it, and here we are.
No, because the Jets handled this offseason like they know better than we do. They were arrogant, and we talked about this. Go back, listen to all the old podcasts. Yeah. They put a premium on their coaching. We know better than you do. We're not going to hold top-tier free agents. Trust us. Okay, we trust you. And look where we're at now. 3 wins. Embarrassing. Be one of the worst seasons in the history of the Jets, which is saying a lot because we've sucked for a long period of time. And now, again, literally more questions than answers at the most crucial positions of the team. You talk about linebacker coach. Quincy Williams and Jamie Sherwood are so far worse than they've ever been. Like, everybody, what's his name? Jermaine Johnson and Will McDonald. Like, the only 2 guys that are playing good are freaking Harrison Phillips and Briggs.
Yeah, Juwan Briggs, yeah.
That's it.
And you give credit to Muji for those moves, specifically Briggs, because he, Phillips had some, years and experience. Briggs was an unknown. I mean, he drafted last season, didn't get much opportunities with Cleveland, and they've developed him. So you do give him credit for that. But yeah, I mean, Jermaine Johnson, Will McDonald been awful. You have to add more juice at that position. And I'm just so sick of these 4-year, 5-year rebuild plans. That's like, oh, year 4, year 5, that's when we'll be good. Just trust us. And then you see Jacksonville turn it around. You see how quickly Denver's turning around, how quickly Chicago's turning around. DeMeco Ryans
Houston
is on his way to a 3rd straight playoff in as many years. And by the way, he's won the wild card round each of the past 2 seasons. So he's already got 2 playoff wins under his belt. All of these teams, like the Jets and Patriots, were in the same spot last year, same exact spot. Yep. And let's not act like the Patriots are the most talented team ever. They're not, but they've developed a quarterback and they got the right coach. The Jets screwed up at the quarterback again. The coach is lost. The defense stinks. The offense stinks. The special teams is good. That's it. And now,
the plan is trust me, bro.
Yes, trust me. And they're going to draft a quarterback into a coaching staff that we've seen no reason to believe that they're going to develop that quarterback. No reason.
That's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. Like you can go get Ty Simpson. You can go get Dante Moore. You can get whoever you want. Yeah, I have absolutely zero faith in this current coaching staff developing. So, Jack, what's up, man?
Oh, same story, guys. Never seems to end. I think you guys have hit the nail on the head with the issues around the coaching staff. I mean, Aaron Glenn, we kind of went back and forth. We thought we were making some progress with kind of cheap wins over the Falcons and a couple of others. But, one thing I know is that Woody Johnson at the end of the year is going to want, resignations or firings from a bunch of different assistant coaches.
Yep.
And so if you're Aaron Glenn, you've got to basically have 3 or 4 sacrificial lambs. They're going to be position coaches, probably on the defensive side of the ball. But it's like, who's coming in here from the outside, knowing that Aaron Glenn has a 1-year runway to either get to 7, 8, 9 wins, whatever the number is, to secure another year of employment before Woody is forced to make a decision again. You're not going to get, I mean, on the first go around when he had whatever, he's got a 5-year deal, right? Reports are that he's making north of $10 million a year, which
Making
I
like
find,
14. I think it's like between 12 and 14. I heard.
which
Yeah, it's all over.
which is insanity to me. That's like Belichick type money. That's like top tier coaching money
He got Ben Johnson money.
for a guy that like was not going to get a job this cycle if the Jets didn't give him. So it's like, if you're Woody, like, why are you paying him that amount of money when it's basically the Jets are nobody? I mean, I believe that he had interviewed, don't quote me on this, but I think 14 different times for head coaching positions. So he'd cycled through basically half the league before the Jets came through with an offer. It's just crazy to me. They're in a really, really difficult spot
This
right
to
now.
me seems like, I mean, we've been through a lot as Jet fans. This to me is a new rock bottom, because now you're in a really desperate situation, like you talked about. Because right now, the Woody Johnson can't sell tickets. There is nobody that's sane that says, you know what, I want to spend $5,000 on season tickets next year. Nobody wants to buy it. Tickets are impossible to sell. There's no face of the franchise. There's no marketable players. So what is he going to do? How do you sell tickets? You make splash moves. You do this. You do that. And when you start handling your team like that, it gets even worse. Furthermore, look at all your decision makers on this team. I like Muji so far. I have no problem with Muji.
Right.
My problem is handing this team, this young team, a year or two of Aaron Glenn with now another defense, 2 years, 2 different defenses. We don't even know what Tanner Engstrand's offense even is. We have no idea what it is. So literally, you're starting like next year's like, it's like a red shirt year part 2 for Aaron Glenn.
Yep.
That's what it's like.
It's
We don't have anything.
It's like year 1.1.
Right? It really is.
Yeah.
And I hear everyone saying like, "Oh, I really like the scheme from Ekstrand." I mean, the offense has been terrible.
Terrible.
And there's not, like, I get that the quarterback play is terrible, but like there's not they have their receiver issues, but like they had pieces to the puzzle here. Like, it's not like the offensive line is supposed to be the strength. Like, I'm sorry, the offensive line has not been all that impressive to me. Like, they're not opening up huge holes in the run game, and I just expected more through and through. And Aaron Glenn, I mean, in training camp, I remember Will McDonald did a spin move or something, and he stood on the podium, and they said, we didn't see that from Will last year. Like, what do you attribute it? And he real arrogantly coaching. And it was like he was taking shots at Saleh and his staff. It's like Will McDonald, it's like 3 games a year. You can count. And the rest of it is him getting thrown into the sideline by in the run game,
And one of those was against Dylan Gabriel. I mean,
right.
It wasn't like he was sacking one of these top end quarterbacks or top end offensive lines 4 or 5 times. It was Dylan Gabriel in the rain.
But Jack, the question is, this is the whole thing. It's like at the end of the year, we're gonna have 3 wins, which is grossly under what we all expected. We expected a lot better than this, even with tanking with Brady Cook, which is fine. I'd play hooker on Sunday, but whatever. When Aaron Glenn goes into his postseason interview with the front office, what are his 5 selling points that are things that improved? There's nothing.
Trust me.
There's nothing that you can say like that's why I'm so frustrated. Like, if they're tanking, but you're saying, hey, listen, this defense has got a lot of potential. We're seeing a lot of guys get better. Like, all right, these are building blocks. We saw a little bit something out of Mason Taylor. He still got a long way to go. Braylon Allen got hurt. What other receiver? Aaron Smith, nothing. Right? Mechie can't catch the ball anymore. Maybe AD Mitchell. Like, there's nothing there's no big resume here for Aaron Glenn to say, listen, this is what I did year 1. Now we build on it. No, year 1's a wash. Literally a wash.
I would ask, like, who under Aaron Glenn has gotten better this year versus last year? It's not Will McDonald. It's not Jermaine Johnson.
Nope, not
Sherwood. Definitely not Quincy or Sherwood.
Nope.
or just about anyone. I mean, they've gotten some decent production from the corner spot, like with the
Brandon
Thomas and Brandon Stevens, but like free agent and a draft pick, I mean, yeah, I don't know how he walks into that exit
Yeah.
interview after the season with anything to point to, other than this like stock phrase of we're building a plan here. We know, like, let me ask them, why didn't Mike Vrabel have to take 4 years for his rebuild
Yep.
in New England?
It's
And
coaching.
Any of these
and
guys.
and all of these, I'm going to take a little shot at the beat writers too, because I'm sure some of them are probably watching your feed right now, so they can steal their next story. But like all of these guys have been dead wrong on everything throughout the year. They didn't have the Sauce trade. They didn't have the Quinnen trade compensation be anywhere close. I mean, like Connor Rogers was talking. I don't know if it was Connor Rogers actually, but all of those guys were talking. Oh, look, maybe they'll get a second round pick for him. All of these guys seem to be standing behind Aaron Glenn saying, I guarantee he gets a second year. I'm not so sure about that. Like Woody is a sucker for the back pages. He looks into the stadium week 12 and sees 12,000 fans there, 15,000. And I get that there's like 40, $50 million due. How much money are they losing in concessions every single week? Just concessions, parking passes, because nobody is going to the game. You're going to do another year of that if you're Woody Johnson?
Well, and the other thing too is, and again, the assumption by many is that Aaron Glenn, now it's like he should come back next year. I'm not really sure why, because he hasn't earned it.
Yeah.
At some point, you got to earn your keep and earn your job. If there was ever a time in this history of the New York Jets that this job would be marketable to a John Harbaugh, it'd be this
year.
offseason. You have a shitload of draft picks, you have a shitload of cap space, and you say, okay, listen, coach, full power of the organization, get whatever quarterback we want. We trust you because you've actually been there, done that. To hand this to a guy that's never accomplished anything as the head coach of the NFL is absurd coming off this season.
Yeah, and has shown nothing this season either. Like they've been awful. Like you're spot on with that in terms of if there was a time to bring in a veteran coach that got fired. Now, at the beginning of the season, we thought maybe Tomlin's not going anywhere, but Harbaugh, Tomlin, somebody like that, if they got canned, which there's a good chance Harbaugh will, now would be the time with the high draft pick, all of the cap space. This is your team. You take control. I mean, like how many more first-time DCs are we just going to keep running through?
But this is the conversation we had this last hiring process.
Yep.
This job is too big for a first-time head coach. It's too big.
Mm-hmm.
And Aaron Glenn learned on the fly how big this job is, and it ate him alive.
Yep. I mean, the next coach that comes in has to have connections in the league to be able to build a staff. The last time we ever really had success, I mean, prior to Rex Ryan, you look at the staff that Parcells built, it was
An all-star staff.
it was Al Groh, it was Eric Mangini, it was
Charlie Weiss,
Romeo Crennel, Charlie Weiss, Maurice Carthon, Bill Muir. Like they had a litany of guys who were either future coordinators or future head coaches. And like even Rex Ryan was able to build staffs. Like Aaron Glenn, like Tanner Engstrand was not his first choice as an offensive coordinator. He didn't have like who was bought into Aaron Glenn to build the staff. So I agree with you 100%. I don't know that John Harbaugh is getting fired. I think the Ravens are too good of an organization to make that decision. But like, head coaches do.
But even if not, like I see the comments like, well, you're not going to fire Glenn, whatever. Okay, then Jack. We talked about this earlier. What offensive coordinator, experienced offensive coordinator, is going to want to come here if Glenn could be potentially on a hot seat after 1 year? If just say Todd Haley for whatever reason, say okay, Tanner Engstrand, you're gonna be demoted, whatever, different role, whatever it is, or you hire a senior offensive assistant, whatever you want to call him. Would you really want to come here where there's a chance if you only win 5 games next year and spirals out of control this year, you're out of a job? Like coaches want stability, they want success, they want a chance. And not gonna happen here.
These coaches have families. Like you're going to move to the most expensive market in the country. You're going to uproot your family. Your kids are in schools and for what might be an 8-month job. Like no one with any self-respect or other options would ever do that.
Nope.
Would ever do that. And if I'm Woody, like again, you have to rip the Band-Aid off now. Like you needed to see, and I don't know how these conversations go at the start of the year where you go like, I want to see XYZ by week 18. What have you seen? Nothing. And
they're getting worse. Like week 1 was the highlight. Let's be honest. They played their best game in week 1.
And I mean, the one thing that may have saved Aaron Glenn is when you sign off on the Quinnen Williams trade, the Sauce Gardner trade, shutting down Garrett Wilson, you have your excuses built in, and you could say, look, week 12, we gave up. We didn't You guys gave me
He's
nothing to
been
work
playing
with.
Brady Cook now is doing that. Brady Cook is doing your best chance to win. Brady Cook is terrible.
But the media is going to relentlessly defend for whatever reason, because the media owes nothing to Aaron Glenn, who's been nothing but basically rude to them and confrontational for no reason. The media hasn't done anything to Aaron Glenn. They opened their arms to him. They wanted him to succeed, which is pretty rare. But that's what his excuse is going to be. And the last thing here, Aaron Glenn's. I mean, I don't know if that guy's getting a defensive coordinator job when he's done here. Like,
Yep.
I forget head coaching jobs, but who's hiring him as a defensive coordinator? His track record wasn't there.
Nope.
Steve Wilkes didn't have a track record. He was a defensive coordinator 1 year stints
Yep.
at every spot,
One
and he
and
was kicked to the curb. Head coach 1 year stint. Anyway, I'll let you guys get to other callers, but
Have a good night, man. Merry Christmas to you and your family, man.
Merry Christmas, guys,
Yes,
and to
Merry
whatever
Christmas.
holidays you celebrate. Be good.
Later, dude. Yeah, and again, people are probably like, "Oh, you guys, Aaron Glenn's come back next year. What are you guys talking about?" We're calling like we see it, man. And today's press conference after yesterday's debacle is ridiculous. It's embarrassing. They're completely tone deaf at this point, and it's just and everybody's enabling. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Why? Because the goal is to find success for the future. The goal is like, hey, listen, we want to keep building something. We want to build a program. What exactly is being built right now? Nothing. It's literally a wasted year where we have the only thing we evaluated was, wow, you know what? We may have a lot of problems here. That's what we have.
Yep. Yeah, that's it. You're spot on. It's a wasted season. They won 3 games. They're throwing it away. Baldy's built in excuses. It's year 1. Trust the plan. And Jack was spot on. I mean, even you look at the DC job, who's going to want to take it if it's with a potential coach on the hot seat, a one and done situation? Like, is one of these hot names an Owl Harris or a Jim Leonard, are they going to want to take this job knowing that they're potentially out of here in a year? It's risky. It's tough, the reality is good chunk of this fan base. Like, we could just see this coming. They're going to probably start 1-5 next year. It's going to be a complete train wreck with a rookie quarterback, and we're going to start all over again.
Yep. No, what's up, Jimmy? You keep fading out with your camera, so I can't see if you're there or not. Is he still there?
No, I'm here.
Yeah, what's up, man?
What's going on, man? I hope you're feeling better. I didn't even know you were sick, dude.
Yeah, man, I was pretty banged up for a little bit there, but
Oh.
I'm back on the
I
mend.
was looking for the stream because I usually just watch. I never call in, but I figured I'd call in tonight because dude, this guy. What are we doing? What are we doing here? What do we do? How are any of those guys, any of those defensive players in that room, gonna buy into this coach when he fired his defensive coordinator in the first year? Who's buying into that system? Who's going to believe him? And how are you going to trust him to go get a quarterback in the draft when he just showed you he can't do it? He just showed you he can't do it this offseason when we signed Justin Fields, who's not even playing.
Yep.
What are
They're
we
scared.
doing?
They're scared to play him now because they don't want him to get hurt.
Is he going to be our quarterback next year? Like,
No, he's gone, dude. I think Justin Fields is conveniently hurt right now, so they keep him healthy the rest of the year, and in the offseason he's out of here.
right. So they just showed us they don't know what the fuck they're doing when they come.
Exactly. Yeah, they showed us arrogantly like we're gonna bring Justin Fields and make him better, bring him back to the Ohio State days. They did the exact opposite to the point where he's unplayable.
He's
Justin
worse.
Fields is unplayable.
He's worse. This is by far the worst year of his career. Like,
They accomplished a lot of things and they're all bad.
it's so bad. It's like this is good. They're gonna let him draft these players, and it's gonna be another 5 years of fucking. We got to get rid of them. We got to clean
bad,
out
man.
now, right
It's
now.
bad.
If we
It
don't
is as
do
bad
it,
as it gets.
if we don't do it, we're in trouble.
No, there's nothing to buy into. Like you listen to
No,
him talk,
what-
you're like,
what-
there's
We're
nothing.
getting
There's no
blown out
blueprint.
by a 4-win Saints team. What are we talking about here?
Dude, we gave up 300 yards to Tyler Shuck.
The guy's talking about, and the guy in the press conference, he's talking about him like he's fucking Archie Manning out there.
Yep.
It's like, what?
He's like,
Dude.
you got to give these guys credit. It's a really good team. He goes, they made adjustments to our schemes. Then why don't you adjust to their schemes? Like, is it like a cat and mouse game or is it only
They
a
have
cat?
4 wins. They've won 4 games this entire fucking season. What are you talking about?
And they had 8 sacks.
Don't worry,
Dude, that was bad.
it was there.
That was so bad.
It's a disaster, man. And now you look at with the Patriots this week, they're gonna drop like 50 on us. Like there's
That's the other thing too. Look at all the other good coaches that came in and completely. The Jaguars were in the dumpster. They're great now. They're best record in the AFC.
Yep.
Bears fucking in the dumpster. They're good now. They got a coach. I think there's one other.
well the Houston Texans, the Broncos, a lot of these
Yeah,
teams
but
are
like,
turning
but like
around.
just out of the because they were just hired this offseason.
Oh yeah, yep.
Oh, yeah.
Like it
No,
was.
Liam Cohen
it
turned
was,
it around quick. No, it's
it
crazy.
was there was 3 coaches were hired this offseason. The guy from the Lions, Ben Johnson.
Ben Johnson with the Bears. Yep. Then you got
Johnson
Liam
with the
Cohen.
Bears, Liam
Yep.
Cohen with the Jags, and Aaron Glenn with the Jets.
Yeah.
How do we do?
It never ends, man.
Look, it doesn't stop. It's like, oh, Adam Gase, this has got to be rock bottom, right? No, not rock bottom. Wait till the Saleh era with Zach Wilson. And you're like, this is finally fucking rock bottom, right?
This is
They're
it.
like,
This is the new rock bottom.
Wait till the Rodgers era with Nathaniel Hackett. And you're like, okay, we've hit the fucking floor, right? And it's like, oh no, wait till Aaron Glenn gets here, baby, and Justin Fields. And you'll be watching Brady cook. And you're like, is this rock bottom? And I can't say it is because we haven't stopped fucking falling yet. You
No.
can't say you can't call it rock bottom until you begin to climb out of the fucking hole. And we have not done that yet.
This is hysterical. Dude, you made a great point because it's like we always say, like, I think last, like, all right, this is rock bottom.
Yes.
And now it's like literally today, I'm like, oh my
there's
God.
no
it's
bottom.
actually-
There is no fucking bottom.
It's like a bottomless
There's no
pit.
bottom. You're just falling. It's a fucking dream.
Oh,
where you
my
just fall
God.
endlessly.
It never ends. It literally never ends, man. Like, that's why I was sitting there today. I'm like, what exactly? When he said, like, you got to trust our plan, I'm like, oh my God, this is worse than the Gase years. Like, we're
And you know
literally
how
hitting
it
a
goes.
new bottom.
And you know how it goes. Like, we'll forget about this. We'll get excited with the draft.
Yep.
We'll get signed some guys. By August, I'll fucking talk my team back, talk myself back into this stupid fucking organization. And then by October, I'll be sad again.
Yeah,
What am I doing?
By
What am
week
I
6,
doing?
yeah, by week 6, we want everybody fired. We're starting over
We'll
again.
be looking at fucking guys in the draft.
Hankathon.
What are we fucking doing?
Draft.
Oh, my God.
Yo, thanks for calling in, man. Merry Christmas to you and your family.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. Thanks for letting me on.
That
Merry
call was
Christmas.
hysterical.
Great
dude.
call.
But he's right. The thing
Spot
is, he's
on.
right. Like, you can't argue with him. Like, every time, like, we set the standard so low this year, literally so low. We expected nothing. And look what we're getting. They're underachieving in this. It's hard to do what they're doing right now.
Yeah, they found a way to get lower than a bar of 5 to 7 wins.
Yep.
They're going to be 3-14.
He's
Spot on. It's just only down with this. It's only down.
The only way that I have any confidence in this regime is they make wholesale changes on this coaching staff. Like, literally, like a new OC, like a veteran. You need a legitimate veteran mind on offense. You maybe get a better quarterback coach and a guy that's a running back coach. Let's try that. We don't even know what Steve Hyden is at this point, the O-line coach. And then on defense, you need a whole nother like linebacker coach. You need to know the coordinator. Like, you've got to literally overhaul. And then it's like, wow, after 1 year of Aaron Glenn's staff, we got to blow it up because he made a lot of bad hires. That's a telling point too. Like, that's what's even more bothersome. It's like, oh, like, okay, you brought in this coach with all this, like, his great resume. And after 1 year, you got to blow up his staff because half of them are terrible.
Yeah. And that was the whole problem with Saleh too, was his coaching staff was awful as well. And that was one of his biggest knocks. And now you're already seeing in year 1 with Glenn, there's a major holes on this coaching staff. And even if they make changes though, do we actually trust Glenn is going to get better himself? No,
Nope.
There's no faith there.
And it's predictable, dude.
Yep,
This is
you could see this coming. It's you're spot on. It's all predictable. The last caller is spot on. We're going to be talking draft in October next year.
No, and it's like we like the benefit that we have as Jet fans is we've seen so many failed regimes, so many failed plans, especially when it comes to handling a young quarterback and developing an offense. Not having a first-time offensive coordinator, first-time offensive line coach, and a first-time quarterback coach is a disaster. And we said it 5 months ago. And look where we are now. Terrible. So it's like a lot of this is so predictable. And now it's like, okay, now we got to clean house and fire everybody, bring somebody else in and trust Aaron Glenn year 2 to get it right. Because year 1, he didn't get it right. Why? Why does he get the benefit of the doubt? What has he done that's so great that says, you know what? He's a really great head coach. He hasn't proved he's a great coach. He hasn't proved it.
No, and that also kind of goes into the whole point too of giving him all the power. Like, what has he done to? I mean, he even called at the introductory press conference that Muji's his sidekick. Like, what has Glenn accomplished to
Nothing.
run this organization his way and be the face of this thing? I mean, he's certainly not proven anything this year, and it's all predictable. And it's also preventable. And we even go back to the coaching search.
Yep.
What were some of those names on that list? Like the Joe Witt Jr., I believe, was the defensive coordinator of Washington who got his play calling taken away with this year. Like, that's the guy you were interviewing for coach. Then the Maryland
coach
coach.
for
Like,
Maryland coach. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like there was just like, what were some of the names on that list? It was pathetic.
This is bad, dude. This is so bad. Like I'm just, and again, like there's no other way for me to feel. This isn't trying to chase clicks or views or subscribers. I don't give a fuck about any of that. It's like, look at where we're at and look at where we're heading into this offseason. This is a pivotal offseason for this organization. Yes. It is. All these great draft picks, all this cap space, and you're putting it in the hands of a coach they have absolutely no faith in. That is a dangerous way to handle business, as we've done that in the past, and we saw how it went.
We've heard that before. It's a crucial offseason. Crucial
every
offseason.
Fucking year.
Every
it's
year.
Terrible.
And they screw up every year.
Because where's the goat? I got the goat right here. That was me all day yesterday. And that was me today after I heard his freaking press conference.
Yeah,
hold on to the rope, fans. Hold on to the rope.
I thought I was like over getting angry at the press conferences, but once he mentioned effort yesterday, that was like very solid. That was all solid effort. Like you just got
participation trophies.
You let up 82 points between Miami and Jacksonville. You let up another 29 to Tyler Shuck. You didn't score a touchdown.
But my team participated yesterday. They were on the field running around. They weren't scoring points. They weren't tackling, but they were out there. So I'm happy they actually showed up and worked up a sweat on the field yesterday. That's
yes,
great.
and costly penalties. How many more times are we going to see John Simpson get penalized?
Another
11
guy,
penalties. Another guy, gets used regressed.
But that's
year. He's been awful.
He's good for 2 penalties every week. He's completely regressed too, where you thought he was kind of a building block. Now it's like he's a liability over there too. Is it him? Is it the scheme? Is it the coaching? Because I thought he was a solid player.
Yeah. 11 penalties in 15 games. And the chop block, like, what are you doing on that play? There's no need to chop block there. And in the holding on 1st and 10, you can't take a holding penalty on 1st down. You know, there's so many and this is the other concern. They suck right now. And look, are they going to be playing meaningful games next year? Probably not.
Nope.
But if this team was playing meaningful games, all of these problems would be like so much more under a microscope. And that's the concern, is like, if they ever get to that point, can you even trust this coaching staff to go into a game and out coach another team, have this team ready to play? Like, there's so many little mistakes. Like Brady Cook, the 3rd and 6 sack was one of the worst I've seen in my entire life.
Yep.
Like, what are we doing?
I'd play Herndon Hooker this Sunday. I would play him. I wouldn't give a rat's ass. Yeah. You know, why not? I mean, it's just, I don't care. Like Brady Cook, I like him. Good story, completely in over his head. If the offensive line's blowing assignments, guys aren't catching passes, penalties over the place. I'm like, whatever. Like it's a mess. I mean, what's up, man?
How y'all doing, man?
I mean, dude, it's I can't believe we're here, but we've actually gotten worse somehow. And the coach is telling us to trust him because he knows what he's doing, with absolutely no resume of winning in the NFL.
I swear, we have to be in debt to forever rebuild, because again, it don't make sense. I mean,
nope.
I looked at the game yesterday. The only reason why I was interested was because I had a bet on Chris Olave to have a certain amount of yards. Other than that,
you won that then.
Other than that, it's just, what's the reason to watch this team? Like, there's
none.
There's no light at the end. Actually, I do know what that light at the end of the tunnel is. That's a fucking train that keeps running us every single fucking time, bro. Like, as Jet fans, I'm telling you now, we keep putting ourselves in the Plaxico Burress challenge. We keep shooting ourselves in the foot watching this team. Like what are we watching, bro? What is the goal? Tyson over here having health problems. Y'all stressing him the hell out. Y'all stressing me out because
my health problems aren't because of the Jets. They definitely didn't help anything.
Like, come on, man. The effort of this team, it seems like to me, the effort of this team, it was 1 or 2 games after the Williams and the Sauce trade, and then it just completely went out the window. And the only grace that I'll give the players is because they're not supposed to be on the field. That's the only grace that I'll give players.
Or they're just starting to give up. They know that the scheme's not working. They're not buying in, and they're just like, it's just like at some point, human needs. You know, you're not making the playoffs. You have nothing to play for. You're probably not going to be back next year. So it's like, you know what? You start making business decisions. You know what? A little slower, a little this, a little that. You know, it's bad, dude. This is just ridiculous now. And to your point, they're unwatchable. Like it's like literally torture watching them because you know they can't score points, they can't tackle. Like, does any Jet fan in your right mind want to watch Jets Patriots next week when we know we're gonna get thoroughly ass kicked for 60 minutes? Who wants to watch it?
I mean, competent football, like it must have left in 2015 or 16 because that was the last time we was ever had at least a shot at making the damn playoffs.
It's been a minute.
It went out the window for some reason. And we keep on saying we need veteran coaches. What veteran coach is going to want to come into this hellhole of a franchise? Like, what veteran coach? I know veteran coaches.
What players are going to want to come here?
Yeah.
You know, it's incompetency every single year, and the fact that we talking about it is a damn therapy session each and every Monday that we have to call in and say to ourselves like, damn, who got better?
Nobody.
Wilson got hurt. Breece Hall, I mean, he's playing decent, you know, a week, maybe the next week, maybe this week, that week, but he might not stay with the team next season.
Nope.
Like, there's nothing to look forward to as far as saying what.
No, Garrett Wilson's hurt. Mason Taylor's hurt. Aaron Smith's been a bust. John Mechie's back to being the player he was. If anything, you're hoping to see A.D. Mitchell do something. Jeremy Ruckert catches every other pass. I mean, it's nothing. Braylon Allen's been out for the year. They don't use Isaiah Davis enough for whatever reason because they don't want to use running backs in the passing game, which is completely stupid.
Mm-hmm.
There's literally nothing, and we have no interceptions. Like, how is that even humanly possible at this point? Like, the more you talk about it, you're like, how is this? Like, what are we like? It's literally laughable, dude. Like, we've been through the Gase years and all this stuff. This is turning into worse than that.
Hey man, I'm just tired of being ran over by that train in the damn tunnel. I'm about to start hopping on that train and just leaving this franchise.
Become a Bears
as a
fan
because it don't make sense. The effort they bet. I'll tell you what, this off season, they better hope that the players that they get put some fucking effort into making sure that they actually are making winning plays. They actually know what they're doing on the field.
Yep.
Otherwise,
you got to get like the easiest one is, even though Alex Anzalone is older as a Detroit line, that's the kind of guy that's been playing winning football, cares, runs around pride, captain, leader. You have guys like that. You have him, Harrison Phillips, but you need a surplus of players. Like, Quincy's going to be gone. Sherwood, can anybody get back to his last year's form? Like, there's some, and then you need pass rushers. What happened to Jermaine Johnson, Will McDonald? Like, it's just wild, man.
And safety.
It's wild. And I will say this: next year, Aaron Glenn is definitely on the hot seat if this team don't have at least 7 to 8 wins.
I agree.
Because what I think it'll be a better draft for the 2027 draft. 2027 draft, I believe. Yep. There'll probably be more quarterbacks in the whatnot. But
you can make, what's funny? You can make a really good case. Like, I'm going to talk about this tomorrow, Ian, because we're texting about this. You can make a really good case to not draft a quarterback this year, to let Aaron Glenn prove he actually has a plan and put together a team, and they get the quarterback the following year to make sure you're not destroying a kid year one. You can make that case, dude. You really could.
You could. I mean, hey, man, but I'm going to head on now because
have a good night, man. Have a good night. Happy holidays to you and your family.
You as well. Mm-hmm.
Happy holidays.
That
is an interesting point.
Right? You can make a point. Like, you go best player available, the first 2 picks in the first round. You completely rebuild this team. You have your Band-Aid quarterback and say, okay, Glenn, prove that you know what you're doing. You build a team and have a competent staff in place. And then the following year, because, like, what was the goal this year? The goal this year was to get all these pieces built up. So next year when you draft a quarterback, you have your blueprint in place. Well, that didn't work. So now you're like, oh, screw it. Let's get a quarterback anyway. May not be the best plan to take, man.
Yeah. But even then, though, like, if that's the feeling, just don't even let him get the second year. You know? It's just...
it's fucking brutal, dude.
It's all so avoidable.
What's up, man?
Welcome back.
Came back with a fury.
To say the least.
Yo, first of all, man, thank you for
Bubs.
checking in, man. You checked in a lot. I definitely appreciate it, man.
No problem. That's, as long as you're okay, that's all that matters.
Back on the men, man. Getting closer. But I appreciate you checked in a lot, man. It was a little tough there for a few days.
Yeah, I know.
I appreciate it.
It's not easy.
Nope.
But
but you know what?
and this is not easy either.
But this is Bubs' best show by far because Bubs came in just legit angry
made the
today.
poor kid like hate everybody now.
They
He
earned
was
it.
all optimistic. Now he just hope he doesn't turn this way. No, I'm not a DC guy. I'm not a DC guy. I'm not a.
So, Afrin, we had a very easy question for you.
Yeah.
Is this a new rock bottom for the New York Jets? Is this worse than the Gase years, or we still have further to go?
We got further to go. No, we are going further than the Gase years.
It's getting worse.
We're not stopping yet. Okay. All right. Now, you just made a comment about they can build up the team now and then get the quarterback. But here's the problem. If you don't trust them to get a quarterback this year, what makes you think you're going to trust them to get a quarterback next year?
And that's the problem.
Okay.
And it didn't hit on the quarterback. Yeah,
Correct.
this year. Yeah,
And you blew with Justin Fields.
And also, you got to hope that you're going to be up there and quarterbacks will be available, because you also take the chance some of these guys can get hurt. We've seen a lot of guys with Achilles this year.
Yep.
Yesterday, what was it? Kansas City, not Holmes.
Minshew.
Minshew, he tore his Achilles now. So, you know,
The Raiders might actually beat the Chiefs.
Yep.
yeah, we could only hope. It's got to come from above to force them to make changes in the coaching staff right away.
But they should be wholesale changes, man. Like you
Yeah,
literally,
yeah,
like, this, like
absolutely.
you got to tell, like,
Absolutely.
okay, Aaron Glenn, you want to keep your job? We're fine with that, but you got to clean up this offensive staff. This defensive staff's got to be a lot better because what we saw this year
Yeah.
is completely unacceptable.
Yep.
And the fact they're letting him do it's a joke, but you have to, dude, and it's warranted.
But you know, we what was it? We had like several coaches didn't even want to interview with the
Yep.
33rd team.
Yep.
That
Ben Johnson, guys like that. Yeah, of
Ben
course.
Johnson, Brian Greasy, I think it was.
Yep.
We know what's his name was not coming back. McCarthy.
Nope.
After they screwed him with the other thing.
Yeah, of course, and rightfully so. But
Yeah.
look at what we're doing now, though. It's like look at the team that you're coming to as a defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator. You're coming to a spot where you better put up results this year. There's a chance you may lose your job after 1 year because your coach sucked this year.
Yeah. No, it's not a attractive position to be. The only thing is if a young guy who wants to be a DC for a year, put it on his resume, it helps. But that's about it. Whether he's going to be good or not is a different story. So
This is bad.
They're so
it's not looking good. You know,
no. It's very bleak.
There's nothing you can say if this happens. You know how you would pick different scenarios to see this possibility that it might work.
Yep.
And can you name any scenario? Realistic scenarios. Realistic scenarios.
Nope.
Zero faith.
That's when you know things are really bad.
Because we can only go based on what we see, right, Bubs? Like this is it's like
But you also got to base it on what's out there. Who do you think is going to come here?
Yep.
It's only going to be a first-time dude, right? Because you take there's only 32 positions, 32 head coaches. You get that under your belt, no matter what. You could even take guy can come in as a DC to head coaching job. He does it 1 year. He shows something. He can land himself a nice college deal and make a lot more money.
Yep.
Okay. So this could be just like a audition for a better positions down the road. That's what it's come. It's not like they're dying to come here.
But do you have any concerns? And again, this is me probably just being overly negative. But do you think a player like Dante Moore or Ty Simpson can be like, you know what? I don't want to come to the Jets. Like you may draft me, but I don't want to play for you guys. Do they pull that kind of power move when you have the perceived lack of stability, the perceived lack of a quality coaching staff?
When you're up in either 1 or 2 in the draft pick, you're going to a shitty team. Doesn't make a difference who it is. That's why you're being picked first or second. You're going.
I mean, the Raiders are a train wreck too.
Raiders are train wreck as well, but
And
they'll
probably can Carroll, for being honest.
But listen, it's like I said, there's no scenario right now that you can see. I need to see some, like you said, wholesale changes and guys coming brought into here, and that's why I think Spielman needs to step in.
Yep, 100%.
He literally has to step in, and Muji, and this, there's like,
And meanwhile, Philip Rivers just threw his second touchdown of the night.
yeah, but they fumbled it. They just tied the game. They didn't look too good.
It was
The
funny.
San
I
Francisco
saw
defense ain't looking good. Whatever. I ain't worried about that.
Yeah, I saw Connor Hughes tweeted yesterday that with the Rodgers win, the Niners clinched, and he
Yep.
labeled it like Aaron Rodgers
It's
puts
solid.
Robert Saleh into the playoffs. It's like, imagine seeing that 3 years ago as a Jet fan, or hearing that 2 years from them when the move was made, and then to find out that, it's just,
Well,
I have
Afram,
no faith at all.
I can't. I don't worry about that. I'm just,
so when does your hiatus end is what I want to know.
probably after the Super Bowl.
Okay, just so we know we want to get we want to get your blueprint so we know.
What blueprint? This is just, you got to have some foundation, and we don't know, because quite frankly, I don't want to get into a situation now. Is you got $100 million? I don't want to do a McCagnon again.
Yeah, you let them draft it, spend all the money, then you
do
fire them.
You do it right away. Then you got to do it right away. And
The
but
Woody
you
special.
also you got to know that you have someone in mind to run this team.
I agree.
You just can't. I don't want to go in there and waste another, get the Tannenbaum or the next guys in to try to pick a coach for you. All right. If you want an experienced guy, either you go against the league and you interview Flores and Gruden.
Yep.
Because let's say everyone mentions Gruden, but name me another team that's brought him in for an interview.
It's true.
Okay, so there's something going on there that they don't want to go up against the league, because
Yeah, but to be fair, I think the Buccaneers put him in like their walk of or ring of honor or some shit like that.
that's fine.
Slowly but surely, I think he's making his good graces back with the NFL. But that's where they're at though. Like that's
Then you have to be bold. You're going to go to the commission and say, hey, I need to get my team better. What you have with Gruden, I can't be involved in. I need a head coach. He qualifies as a head coach.
yeah.
Let's squash this whole thing with him. Settle, do whatever you have, but you need this New York team to be successful because it helps the league.
Yeah, because they're completely irrelevant right now.
Okay,
Yeah.
We're totally irrelevant. No, both New York teams are irrelevant at this point. Okay, you don't know what's going to happen with the Giants. Yeah, they have. We don't
Yeah,
know.
but the
how
Giants'
long-
job is sellable, dude. You got Jackson Dart, Malik
Yeah, you
Neighbors,
do, but
Scadaboo.
still, they're not there yet.
But they got pieces to the puzzle though. Like
Yeah.
you're like, it's like, would you rather like Jackson Dart's
No.
guy? Like, I can work with him.
Let's see who they hire as head coach. They also don't. They have a GM that's.
Yeah, they got.
We don't know what's going to happen with him,
Gotta fire
right?
him too. Yep.
And they hired him to get head coaching candidates. So there's got to be something, I know that Flores is still suing for discrimination.
Yep.
That could end very quickly by hiring him, But this is where this is why we said the commission needs to step in and do what's right at this point, just to help. It only helps the league. It only generates more money.
I agree. Thank you for calling in. Happy holidays to you.
Happy
and your
holidays. I
family.
just want to say that. Really wanted to say happy holidays to everybody and a happy new year. And let's hope for the best that, this coming
expect
year,
the worst.
there's some bright spot that's going to happen. And give me a goat before you leave.
Oh, of course. My pleasure.
Yeah. There you go.
Wait, just for you. Hold on.
Oh, what's that? The lamb? Yeah.
Have a good night, man.
You too. Be well.
You too.
Have a good one.
Afram's a good dude, man. He literally checked in on me so many times over the last week. He's a good dude. So yeah, this is I think all the criticism is warranted. It's like, and again, there's a very good chance Aaron Glenn's coming back this year, which is fine. But there's no reason why Jet fans can't scrutinize the shit of this organization because it's warranted. There's so many glaring holes and glaring problems that if they're not addressed in the off season, this time next year we're talking about who's our coach going to be.
Yep, exactly. And look, you can have your concerns with Glenn and also want to see him do well. Like we all want to see Glenn do well. Like I hope I'm wrong. I hope Glenn goes out there and they win 10 games next year and they hit the quarterback and all that stuff. But just being honest in what we see, it's just blind faith. Like how can you watch these 15 games and say, especially when you see what's happening around the league and the other coaches that got hired outside of Pete Carroll, because that's been a disaster. How can you sit here and say you have faith in this coach to turn it around? Like it's, I mean, this is worse than Salah's first year. Gay's won more games than this. It's
this
terrible.
is literally fans. Like if you're buying into things now, it's because it's just blind faith and hope. And hope is never a plan in the NFL. It's not. Well, I hope they can do this. I hope they can do that. No, because we've talked about this for an hour already. It's like there are so many negatives piling up, so many red flags piling up where it's like, all right, at some point, sound the alarm. You have to, because we're risking setting this organization back 5 more years if it continues to go in this direction.
Yeah, exactly. And like we just saw this with Salah. We saw it with Gaze. We all could have predicted Gaze was going to suck after year 1.
100%.
And then they kept him another year and it was a disaster. Even Salah, they should have canned him after the whole Rodgers injury and said they brought him back. To only give him 5 games is ridiculous.
And brought Hackett back.
Exactly. Hackett didn't hire any senior consultant assistant. Brought Hackett back, run it back. It's okay. Win 7 games. It's all right.
Same old Jets.
It's just, it's crazy.
What's up, man?
Hey guys, welcome back, Tyson. Hope you're feeling better.
Yeah, I'm getting there. I'm getting close.
That's good. I was spreading rumors that Legend basically poisoned you, but you know.
It was funny. People were like, oh, the Jets finally broke him. Like, no, the Jets will never break me. Definitely what happened to me broke me, but Jets will never break me. But it's
well, I'm glad you're on the man.
This is as bad as it gets, man. We've talked about a lot of stuff on the streams, and this is a new rock bottom, man. It is.
It really is. I mean, I've been on, obviously been a long time fan. And I like Sunday, I finally turned the game off. I just couldn't stand it anymore. It was just, there wasn't anything to watch. There really wasn't. You knew what was going to happen. And it just looked like there was just no highlights. So there was nothing to sit back and say, that shows a little promise. Okay, that's worth watching. It's not there.
Nope.
And now, I mean, obviously all the things you guys are hitting on, I have to say I'm in total agreement with it. This whole bullshit about now Glenn saying, you've got to basically trust the process. We've got a plan. We got to get our guys in there. All the shit that he didn't do at the beginning of the year. At the beginning of the year, he was Mr. Arrogance. It's a great team. And they were poorly coached. Fields was poorly coached. All this stuff. And literally, there's been no improvement in this team since the beginning of the year. There's been nothing.
Well, that's the thing. The thing is, like, it's one thing to say, trust our blueprint and trust our plan. But while we're trusting that, show us you're actually developing something in the meantime. You don't get a true full season to watch your team completely fall apart and regress. Like, oh, that's part of our plan. That shouldn't be a part of any plan. Like, you should be maximizing potential of the players you have in your roster, and they failed to do that on several levels.
Forget it. I mean, across the board. And the thing about all this is, it's like, okay, you can sit back and say the Jets don't necessarily have optimal personnel. And I can't argue. You got young guys that haven't been proven yet. They haven't learned yet. You've got all these pieces. These are still professional athletes. And you know what? Look at what other teams do. Look at San Francisco. Their defense is riddled with injuries.
Exactly.
Sal's got practice squad players, and they're playing because it's coaching.
Well, no, but you're making a good point because hold on though, because think about, like, everybody wants to talk to me about, well, Brady Cook's playing with shit. When Garrett Wilson was healthy, what was happening? When Garrett Wilson and Mason Taylor were healthy, what was happening? With Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, and Mason Taylor were healthy, what was happening? The offense still sucked. On defense, they had how many guys that we all thought were Pro Bowl level? Quincy Williams, Jamie Sherwood, Sauce Gardner, all these guys, and the defense sucked. So what's happening now is happened before these guys were all even gone.
It was a point where that was the thing. I mean, they inherited. Look, Glenn inherited a defense, right? So some players left from last year, but they basically inherited a defense that was in some ways a top 5 defense.
Yep.
Not in everything, but it was still
talent.
And they had it there. All of a sudden, even from the first game we saw it, the defense was uncoordinated. They looked lost. And now, of course, we're hearing stories of players saying, Wilkes was like, it's my way or the highway. They were telling him it's not going to work. It was his scheme. The thing was screwed up. Glenn stood by him. Oh, no, it's just, we've got to keep going. We got to keep grinding. Well, guess what, guys? It isn't going to work. And one of the things I think I'm worried about, I mean, hearing Glenn say there's a plan, that's basically saying this was a year zero rebuild, which it shouldn't have been. And now saying, I need time to bring in my guys, right? So this is usually, we know what this is. We've seen this before. You go through 3 years, they're awful, but it'll always be tomorrow.
Yep.
And the thing is, there's just no.
It's
do I
blind
put
faith, dude.
Yep.
We're trusting.
that's what they
we're
want.
trusting a guy that's never done it before. He's never fucking built a team before. He's never won games as a head coach before. But trust me, I'm gonna blow it all up. I'm gonna blow up my whole first season, do absolutely nothing. But you know what? Next year, I'll start getting it right. The year after, I'll start getting a little bit better. Why?
Well, the thing with Glenn was, right,
Bullshit.
everybody sat there and said he's going to change the culture. That was
He
the
didn't
big
change
thing.
shit.
I know, but he said he was going to change the culture. That was going to do everything. And in this year, we all know, you guys mentioned it more than everybody's mentioned it. You know, he was basically saying that the only reason his team was bad was because of coaching. Well, guess what? It's probably worse. And I really find that hard to say after a team that had Hackett at offensive coordinator and everything else, the team got worse. And one of the things I'm really worried about, Glenn, to be honest with you, how the hell did they hire this coaching staff? You can't tell me people say, 33rd group. They didn't hire him. Glenn did. And you know what? It looks like he
Nobody
hired
wanted to come
coaches.
here.
He didn't want coaches, either that or he didn't want coaches that would challenge him.
Well, no, I think to Bubs' point, it's not like Tanner Engstrom was his first choice as offensive coordinator.
Mhm.
He wasn't. He was like his third choice. And everybody, it's like, and the one thing we said was, we talked about this, hire a veteran offensive coordinator. You're hiring Steve Wilkes, the defensive guys, like, all right, I get why you did it, but you need it on the other side of the ball where you have no experience, where you have a guy that you want a reclamation project in Justin Fields. It made no sense then what they handled it. That was first guessing it.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's like, and I don't understand. You could be right that that's all he could get, but it's like, it made no sense. You had Justin Fields as a reclamation project, and you got Charles London as the quarterback coach, who's basically a running back guy.
Yep.
Now, unless Glenn said, gee whiz, he can teach him to run even better and he'll put up 2,000 yards, it makes absolutely no friggin' sense. And from the time it didn't, and it doesn't look like there's a plan. Now he says he's got one. Well, if you have a plan, that means you looked at this year and said, forget it, this team is garbage. I'm going to evaluate what I got, and it's for the future. But he didn't do that. He said it wasn't that. So now he's starting from scratch again, and he's basically asking you to do it. And I don't want to belabor it. I mean, we're all talking about
Yeah,
this
but the thing is, like, how do you he shouldn't be allowed to waste a year, because what he's done now is just look at defensively. Look at all what we thought was the young nucleus, your core pieces: Sherwood, Will McDonald, Jermaine Johnson, Quincy Williams. They're all gotten worse to the point where, like, do you want to pick up a $15 million option for Will McDonald? It's almost like you're going to, but do you want to? Because has he shown you enough to even be that? Jermaine Johnson's not doing anything right now. And Sherwood's played his first good half of football, in week 15? Like, it's just, that's terrible.
No, it tells you in that kind of thing, the fact that all of a sudden Sherwood showed up just tells you something, that there's been inconsistent crap all over the place. They didn't feel like it, or they weren't feeling it. And across the board, they weren't.
But that falls on Glenn, though.
Of course it does.
But this is something I told Bubs. The thing is, if Glenn is watching a guy like Sherwood that you paid 3 years, $45 million, become an absolute liability on defense, you as the head coach and CEO, you make a change yourself. You don't sit by like an innocent bystander and be like, oh, well, that sucks. No, you fucking make a change.
And Quincy Williams had a pretty interesting quote post game about, like, the communication was better, I guess, yesterday.
Yep.
So Glenn knew all that was going on and waited
allowed
until now to make a change. Seriously?
The problem, one of the problems with Glenn is, and this is the other big thing I've got. I'm sorry. People say, well, don't judge him by the way he treated the media. I don't really care, obviously. I don't care about the media. I don't particularly, but that arrogance he had, and he's got this ego. And, he must have one hell of an ego, because another coach would be crushed after a year.
But to be fair, that ego's been back down now. He's becoming a paper tiger now over the last 2-3 weeks, because now he's not that hard-nosed guy. Well, this is going to be, we got, it takes time. We got to rebuild. And he hasn't been the same prick he was 4 or 5 weeks ago. He's backtracking now. You went from, we're built for this shit,
he knows
it's going to take time.
He knows he's lost everybody. I mean, the press is out for him because they're going to get their retribution. They always do. You've got the fans now have definitely dropped it. I mean, I still see delusional fans saying, "Oh, you got to give Glenn time because he's got to put his people in. It takes a couple of years."
Who is
It's
his
the usual
people?
suspects. It's horseshit because nobody else is doing it. And I looked at somebody. I said, "Now, obviously, he had it easier in one sense,
Yep.
but take a look at New England, right? What Vrabel did." And I looked at somebody. I said, "Think about it. He was experienced. He's got a hell of a coaching staff up there. These guys have credentials all over the place. Forget McDaniels being the best OC in the league,
Yep.
and he has been for a long time. He's also got incredible coaches all over the place. And because of that, they've got New England playing much higher. Their personnel level is not that high. I'm not talking about
Coaching.
May.
But the Glenn's approach, we talked about this earlier. Glenn's approach this offseason was we're gonna double down on our coaching. We're gonna take fringe players, fringe free agents, account all these young guys. We're gonna coach them up and maximize everybody's potential. And they failed at that.
Oh, they definitely did. There's no doubt about it. I mean, that's the thing. That's what I was trying to say with this team, and I'll get off soon. I know that people want to talk, but basically you have a team. These are professional athletes, guys. I don't care what level they're at. They're professional athletes. And there's a difference between sucking and hitting rock bottom. This team may have been mediocre. Maybe this is a team that could have done 6 or 7 wins. They're you can say, okay, overall, we're a mediocre team. And I couldn't necessarily argue it, especially since we didn't have a quarterback. But this team has so underperformed. They're below professional standards. They would lose to a good number of those college teams that are in the playoffs right now. I'm fully convinced of it, that they couldn't even coach against them.
No,
and it's like, I mean, and if you got that, that's a coaching problem. Now, should Glenn be fired? The answer is technically yes. Because if it's this bad, you can't, he's got nowhere to go. He's the CEO, right? If a company did this badly, he'd be fired.
100%.
And you know what? A CEO would know that, and he'd be firing people underneath him. You asked why he fired Wilkes? Because he's trying to show he's doing something. But it's like he just basically ignored all that. He ignored it. And he tried to pretend like it didn't exist, or it's not my problem. I'm the CIO guy. Those coaches. Well, guess what? You're in charge of them.
Yep. And you got it. Like the NFL is a results-driven business, and this year he came away with no results, no improvements, no building blocks, nothing.
And I'll give you a hope that, again, I'm not saying necessarily about Glenn because I'm obviously very disappointed. My real hope is in Muji because I think I'm seeing something. He did pretty good with the meteor stuff. He did good when he traded Q and and Sauce. He got really incredible return for them. They didn't want to be here. He got incredible return. Ken Muji, if he's given power, and that's a big if, because we knew that Glenn supposedly had the power at the beginning of the year. If he's been humbled enough, if Woody has enough balls to say, look, Muji is the general manager. So when they start trying to get coaches and stuff, Glenn can't hire his buddies. He can't bring in some assistant from Detroit because they're so great, because Detroit is absolutely garbage this year. You know, you can't, if he can step in and do that, I have a little hope because he might say, we need to get somebody in here to be a QB coach.
Especially with Spielman.
Or Spielman can come in and say, okay, guys, or get somebody and Spielman comes in and says, look, tells Woody, here's what's got to go on. Maybe I have hope for Glenn as a coach. We've got to get experienced coaches in here. We can't have these first-time guys. We need a good DC. You know, somebody said that, and I don't think it's going to happen. But for example, in theory, let's say Andy Reid gets fired in Kansas City, and I don't think it's going to happen.
That's definitely not happening.
Because if that did, or let's say they decide to play a scapegoat, which would be idiotic, but they fired Spagnuolo, they won't. But I'm just saying, if somebody like that on that level becomes available, or if you've got somebody that, even if they're an assistant, is well respected, you might get them in here. But they've got to have players, they've got to be strong coaches, and they've got to be, and Muji has to tell Glenn, you know what, you're the CEO, you're the head coach, that's fine. These guys are running the show, they need the freedom to do it. You've got to listen to them. We're going to get players that they want in here as well, and it's all got to be there. And if he doesn't, you know, and Muji could theoretically get Glenn fired.
I mean, we'll see. This is crazy. Thanks for calling in, man. Happy holidays to you and your family.
Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and all the rest.
Later, man. Yeah, and that's promote Spielman to president team.
Did they interview Spagnuolo last year? I don't think so, right?
I thought they did.
It was Vance Joseph. I know they interviewed Ron Rivera. I don't know if they interviewed Spags. I forget.
I thought they did.
They might have. But the whole coaching point too, like that's what we always say about like the elite quarterbacks. You know, they might not have the best talent around them, but they can elevate them. Like the best coaches, they can elevate a team that's not that talented. So I'm so tired of hearing that excuse. Oh, well, he doesn't have a quarterback. Well, he doesn't have this. He doesn't have that. Very good coaches are able to elevate teams with their schemes, with their all that stuff. Look at Mike Vrabel. The Patriots aren't the most talented team out there. I mean, Kayshon Boutte's their second receiver. Okay, he's got just over 500 yards. Like they don't have a 1,000-yard receiver right now, and they're a 12-win team. Like you can win games with very good coaching. Matters a ton. So we all know that. But it's that was. I'm just so sick of this.
Do you think Cliff Kingsbury will come as offensive coordinator? No, he wants to be a head coach. Why would he leave? Why would he leave Jaden Daniels to come here? You know, and then that Kyler Murray thing's another thing. But I mean, it's just this again. I think it's rock bottom, and there's no one can convince me else otherwise until Aaron Glenn comes out and starts firing coaches and replacing them with legitimate guys. Like, all right, you have a plan. Show us you learned something by this debacle of a season. If you run it back next year, I'm out.
And I'm really tired of this whole evaluation thing too, because they gave Sauce an extension. They kept Quinnen around. They extended Jamie and Sherwood. They all thought these guys were going to help them win now, as they talked about all offseason. And now his coaching staff's horrific. The season went to complete garbage. And then you trade Sauce. Sherwood's been a disaster. You trade Quinnen. Like that, to me, is also a perfect example of how bad this thing has gotten. Because if they really didn't believe in those players, if they really used this as an evaluation year and didn't believe they could win, they would have traded those guys before the season started, as
100%.
Opposed to giving extensions to them. And then the players regress under the coaching. And then you trade Sauce, you trade Quinnen. Sherwood can't be back. He's been awful. He played one good half great.
Sherwood's the biggest indictment on Glenn. Because Sherwood's the guy, that's the captain of your team MVP that's playing at a very high level. He's got to the point where you wanted to bench him because he was so bad. Like that's like, it's just
terrible. And Quincy,
terrible.
Well,
He's out of position all the time. It's just now we have to go to our cleanup hitter, who has arguably one of the best teams in football, which is wild to me. What's up, man?
All right.
Sam Darnold is the hero.
Tyson, how you feeling?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm doing all right. I'm getting there.
Bud, how you doing?
Bubs is doing good, man. He's on fire tonight.
Yeah, how's it going?
How are you enjoying the Seahawks' success, man?
I'm enjoying it.
I bet you are.
I'm not going to lie and say I'm not, but do I trust that? Yeah, no.
But, dude, you're winning more games this year than the Jets will probably win over the next 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I came up here to talk about. Aaron Glenn gotta go yesterday.
No arguments here.
Yesterday. And if all he has to say is, I have a plan, well, hire me as coach. Because I have a plan too. Can't breathe. I have a plan. Well, what is it? What the hell is your plan? Because a 44-year-old is playing better than all three of you.
It's true.
Quarterbacks right now.
It's true, man. There's a lot of quarterbacks. Pretty much every quarterback in the NFL is playing better than the Jets quarterbacks.
It's pathetic.
It's ridiculous.
And the fact that some Jets fans want to trade up for a quarterback here.
Yeah, but see, I can see Mendoza going to the Raiders. I can see Dante Moore going to the Browns. I can see the Jets being the odd man out and hopefully getting Ty Simpson. But if these guys even come out, who knows, man?
Yeah.
I feel like the safety from that.
Caleb Downs.
Yeah.
They need a game changer at safety. They haven't had one in a while. They always sell low at safety.
Safety, at linebacker, pass rusher. Just no big deal.
Here's the guy they can sign a safety by the name of Kobe Bryant from the Seahawks.
He's a good player.
He's gonna be a free agent.
Why are you giving us your players, man? You don't want them anymore?
Take
I
JSN.
want him to get paid.
So you want the Jets to overpay him so he gets happy. I see how you're working.
Hey, you need players.
Jose, I gotta get out of here, man. Good to see you.
That's
Merry
fine,
Christmas
man.
to you and your family, man.
Merry Christmas.
Love you guys.
Love you too, man. Have a good night.
Good night.
I can't wait for the reactions to this show tomorrow.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. Sam Darnold, JSN in an alternate universe, they could be doing that with the Jets. At least JSN.
At least JSN.
It said they take Will McDonald over him. And supposedly Douglas didn't even have a first round grade on
Nope.
JSN.
And then the thing is, the whole Will McDonald thing is, what do you do with him? Do you pick up his option? Like, what do you even do with him?
Yeah, he's terrible. There's no there's no game records.
Is he a
talent
$15 million
there.
player right now?
No. Terrible
it's
against
like-
the run, and his pass rushing's dropped off.
Unbelievable. Well, again, thank you guys for joining us tonight. I'll be back Sunday streaming the game. I'll get a hold of Romeo. Bubs, Merry Christmas to you and your family.
Yes,
Merry Christmas to
Merry
everybody.
Christmas.
Have a great time during the holidays. Maximize your time with family and friends. Do not waste your time on the Jets. That's my words of wisdom.
Definitely not. Merry Christmas.
Talk to you guys next week.
J-E-T-S,